Alrighty guys, as I keep bringing us another Dragon Ball Legends ToP guide video. So this is going to be in regards to Season 78. If you guys did keep up with us for Season 77, we ended off at rank 1,549 with Raditz, which is honestly like really impressive to me, especially because he didn't get any healing, right? At the start of the season, I was under the false assumption of that he was going to be getting heals next to Super Baby 2, but I made a grave mistake of not realizing that the Super Baby 2 only heals ally tag regeneration or GT. So that entire run he was not getting any heals, and he lived all the way to the end, right? And he not only did he live all the way to the end, he consistently put out good damage, consistently getting ults off. Not only did we secure that juicy 1000 CC, but we also got ourselves the top cut title for the season. Before we continue, there will always be timestamps in the description down below. That way you guys can go ahead and get to where you need to go. Also, another thing too, if you guys have any feedback for these videos, please let me know in the comment section down below. I do plan on like probably revamping the format that we have right here, not by a lot, but just kind of just making it look nicer, flowing a little bit better, stuff like that. And if there's anything that you would like me to like start improving in terms of like the pathing and stuff like that, I know I have been listening to you guys. In terms of like the team building, I do want to make it so it's like more diverse. That way you guys can go ahead and get that just 1000 CC and not worry about hitting a high rank and stuff like that, right? Maybe going deeper into the leaderboard and finding out teams that are going to be working more consistently for you guys, rather than handing you guys just a random 5 teams that you guys maybe not have built every season. But anything in that nature, if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. So the first thing we're going to be talking about, though, as always, is our general tips. Friendship rank 10 all 8 of your units. I know that sounds like a lot. You don't have to do it all in one shot. You can do it over time, but you do want to get friendship rank 10. And the reason why you want to get friendship rank 10 is because there is a difference in stats. So we have our ToP stats right here for Super Boo. Look at his regular stats right there. You're going to notice a difference, right? It's going to be increased on the ToP side of things. And you look at that and you're asking why that is. It's because of that friendship rank. Now, this is only going to benefit you in the ToP game mode. You don't go for friendship rank 10 thinking you're going to get increased stats in PvP or even in the PvE events. It's specifically for ToP, but it helps out a lot, and there is a substantial difference because one of the most important stats in ToP is your key restore speed. That's going to dictate if you attack first, if you attack last, if you attack in the middle, in your lineup right there, right? And so you can see right here, it goes from 2,488 up to 2,612. That's a pretty big difference. And so the easiest way to farm this up is to simply go into the events and go into the Let's Fight event specifically, right? You get 3 of these a day. This is the fastest way to get friendship points, unless there's like another side event going on, right? Sometimes they will do those for like celebrations and stuff like that, but definitely do these. Another more tedious way to do this is going into the story mode. There's a specific part 6. I believe it is Book 1, Chapter 8 against Yellow Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This will also give you a good amount of friendship rank points. The good thing about this one compared to the Let's Fight event is the fact that you can bring in 3 members rather than 1, so you're farming up friendship rank for 3 units at a time rather than the 1. It's definitely at a way slower rate though. I don't necessarily recommend this unless you only have to raise like 1 or 2 friendship levels. Something I definitely do recommend though, if you are planning on getting all your units of friendship rank 10, is investing in this specific equip right here. You can get it from the Equipment Metal Exchange shop. It's this friendship, I mean, it has a very long tedious name to say out right there, but the gist of it is that it's giving you an increased rate to your friendship points gained, right? So 3% slot 1, 2, and 3 for a total of 9%, and these stack, right? So as you can see right here on this team that I have built, fabricated, every single one of my units has 3 of these equipped to them. Right, as you can see right here, Raditz was the last unit that we were farming for his friendship rank. This makes it so much easier. Even if you don't get God rank on these equips, even if you have it at A or B, it's going to speed up the process quite a bit. Now, speaking of equips, you want to go into the exchange shop as well, so you can go into the rare metal one and pick up some ToP equips, because do remember, ToP equips are separate from PvP equips, so you do need these ones. You can't just farm up a PvP equip and then expect to slap that on your ToP team, right? So you do want, what I would recommend is have all of your units have this equip right here, base health. Doesn't have to be perfect slot or anything like that, but base health is pretty nice. And then if your units are above 7 stars, that's the only equipment condition on this, is 7 stars or above. You can also get this equip on here. It gives you base health, base blast attack, base strike attack. Very straightforward right there. And depending on your unit, you're going to also be able to equip this, right? So this one, for example, is strike defense, blast defense, strike attack. That's for melee type. You're going to have that for each typing right here. So range type, And then you also have support type and defensive type as well. This is for 0 stars or above, right? So you can put this on any of your units. If you don't have your unit at 7 stars or above, you are going to have to dip into these lower tier equips, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's definitely worse than the gold ones, but you have to kind of just work with what you're given, right? They're not terrible though, so it's still worth putting one on if you can't equip the explosive clash. And as for a last resort, you can dip into arts boosting your unit for ToP, right? If you do go for any arts boost, I do recommend the special arts boost, because this one is specifically increasing your defenses, right? So making your units a little bit more bulky. Again, this is a last resort, because for the most part, you want to use this on your main like PvP roster units and stuff like that. All right, so now let's talk about pathing. So as per usual, the highlighted fights in red are going to be the most important fights, right? Because this game mode does reward you on a win streak bonus. So for every 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, those are going to be your quote-unquote big boy fights, is what I like to call them, right? Because that's where you're going to get the most substantial amount of points, and it increases as you're going on, right? So if you land on a green tile, if you land on a yellow tile, you're going to be messing up that streak, right? Because at the end of it, it's going to say you only did 24 battles, right? Instead of all 25. Same thing if you lose. Obviously, if you lose, your win streak gets set back to 0. So you do want to keep that in mind right here. If you guys deviate from the blue pathing, I never have an issue with that. If you guys think there's a blue fight that's going to be better than the one I have offered right here, because I do try to make this as easy as possible, right? Another thing that I always do ask for feedback on, if you guys think the pathing is too hard, let me know, and that way I can try and work around it a little bit more and start tweaking stuff. As I did with this one, I do go for a little bit more of the easier fights, even on the red tiles. All right, so for pathing tips, the first fight that you do come across this season is against this ToP stage. It's not that bad. The only unit of concern here is the green TN, because at the start of turn 2, he will super you and stun you, just in case that super attack doesn't finish you off, right? So make sure you do kill him before that happens. Next, we have this God Key fight. This is a really easy fight right here. The only unit I'm going to mention here is the purple Whis. He will stun you at the start of turn 2, so just kill him before that. Next is this Boo fight. I think this one is going to be a little bit annoying here, because there's a lot of debuffs, especially from that green Kid Boo right there. If that's one of the units that you want to target, then go ahead and be my guest. I do want to say probably the most annoying unit here though is the purple Boo, right? That purple free-to-play Boo right there, because at the start of turn 3 he will stun you. You do have a bit of time before that though to get another targeted unit that you want to get out of the way. So next we do have this annoying stage. There's not too much advice I can give you on this stage. Thankfully it's only a 3/5 difficulty, but do keep in mind that this purple Frieza and the red Frieza are both going to stun you on turn 1. There is nothing you can do about it. I hate fights like these, honestly, because it's like so RNG dependent, but it's fine because none of these units are going to super attack you except for this final form Frieza, or the full power Frieza, right? So this guy will super attack you only if you hit him with the blast arts, right? So there are a couple ways to mitigate this. You can leave it up to RNG and save him for last. Sometimes you'll be able to get the edge on him and he won't even super attack at all, or you can swap your units all to strike based and avoid that scenario completely. So the way to do that is you click on one of your characters to the left of them, or well, obviously you see their HP at 100%. To the left of that HP bar, there's going to be the little blast icon. You click on that little blast icon, you can swap it back and forth between strike or blast base for your units. The reason why I don't usually do this method though is because for the most part my regeneration team tends to lean more so towards blast based, and so by swapping over to strike based I lose a lot of damage. So use this at your own discretion, and then don't forget to switch it back. Alright, so we also have the Super Saiyan 3 fight. I don't think this fight's going to be that difficult. I mean, there are some annoyances here, right? Like the blue Kid Goku will stun you turn 1. Nothing you can do about that. The green Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he's going to be able to eat a blast arts or mitigate it. But I will mention that this yellow Super Saiyan 3 and the purple Super Saiyan 3, they both have a buff against regeneration. And of course, that's a little bit worrisome, right? Because we are running regeneration. All right, so next time we're going to be talking about is this Android stage. It has been in the rotation for the last couple of seasons right here. The first unit you do want to get out of the way is the green 21, right? Because she will stun you at the start of turn 2. And one thing you do want to remember is to take out the yellow 16 last, because he does have death buffs for Android allies. And do remember that even though 21 is regeneration, she's also Android. And thankfully this time around for the final boss fight, we are not going up against any ultras right here. Usually what I recommend for this fight is simply going for the suicide cell at the very end, right? Just because he will inflict debuffs once he gets below a certain HP threshold. And that's pretty much it. It actually feels like a pretty basic season for us this time around. If there was any fights that you think that I failed to mention that I should have mentioned, also let me know in the comment section. All right, so the first team we are going to be talking about is Sagas from the movies. So we do have the rank 4 player right here on the right hand side. They have a pretty stacked Hera clan team, right? And so the reason why the Hera clan team works so well too is because, as you can tell, all their Z abilities are like, they'll have the regular standard Z ability, and then they get an extra bonus just for being Hera clan. Like you can see right here with the Goku, 20% to max base health is already great. And then you also get another 22% to tag Hera clan based strike attack, and a lot of their Z abilities work like that. But the thing about Sagas from the movies is that there's so many replaceable. Like you could legit not bring a single Z tier unit in here and run maybe a whole A tier team and still get that 1000 CC guaranteed right here, right? So like the units that I'm looking for is like a damage dealer, which you do have with this full power Bojack, because he does get a guaranteed super attack at the start of turn 2. He has a low key restore speed, so it feels more so like at the end of turn 2, but still, regardless, like I've seen players in the leaderboard rocking both of the Beast Gohans, which is why you do see me having both of the Beast Gohans right here, right? And those units are C tier, man. Both of those units are C tier, right? So even if I'm running 2 C tier units on my main rotation, like this is still a guaranteed 1000 CC team right here, right? And then even if I go into B tier, I'm going to go ahead and definitely pick up a healer, right? Because I like playing around healers. That's just how I play. Some people don't like playing with healers. I think it's safe, right? And I like that. I like playing safe. You know, I want to play it safe when it comes to my CC distribution. So this guy, he's really good because every time he gets hit, he's going to be getting that heal for himself and for his allies. I do like that a lot. This Bujin, he actually is really solid. I definitely do recommend him just because he has a stun available to him, so like damage mitigation and stuff like that right there, right? But again, don't be scared of those A tier units. Don't be scared of those C tier units. They help out so much. All right, so next thing we can take a look at is GT. So although this team doesn't really have the most like options in terms of variances for teams and stuff like that, right? This team is still really good. This is the rank 13th player right here. Obviously, he's going more so for points, but he has Super Baby 2, and I'm always a fan of Super Baby 2. This guy is such an amazing healer. He heals at the end of every single turn by 3%. He's also giving 30% to health restoration for 2 of those turns, and then you just have like a lot of synergy with the team. Honestly, you can see right here, you don't even need like all the Z tier roster. I only have one of the S tier members. I like this guy right here, this blue Sin Shinron, because he's buffing the entire board. This Omega Shinron, this EX one right here, he gets his special move fairly quickly, and then I believe once he lands a special move, he also like stuns, right? Yeah, so on special move arts hit, you restore your own health by 5%, and you inflict all enemies with strong poison. So he doesn't stun, but he inflicts everyone with strong poison. And then you have like the Parasite Trunks. This guy is like goated. Like we used him for a season, and he was absolutely broken. He was so damn good. I honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to using him again. And then, of course, you have units like this Bola right here. If you want to just build it even more, like look at her range of support right here. She's like a pseudo healer, right? So she's a secondary healer. She restores health by 2%. That activates 2 times, but that's for all of your allies right there. And then don't sleep on the Zenkai Kid Goku either, because this guy does get 50% to special move gauge every fight. So he's super attacking every other fight at the very least right here, right? And you can see that there's 2 C tier units in here. I even got a little bit of B tier in there. We got A tier, and then we have a couple, one from S and then one from Z, right? So we have a good diversity right there, which is why I think GT is still very valuable. Like I feel like you could main GT and just be good for like literally 20 seasons to come. The next thing we're going to be talking about is androids, and if you guys already know, if we're plugging androids, we're plugging the boy Andy8 Gaming. He will be linked in the description down below. But androids is another one of those teams, just like GT, where you could main this team season after season after season and consistently just see results and results and results, right? Guaranteeing you that 1000 CC. As you can see right here, this is the rank 117 player. He has a really conservative android team, and by conservative I mean there's not a whole lot of Zenkais going on and stuff like that. He has the stars though, right? So that's an important thing to note, is that even on his EX ToP 18, that's a 14-star healer right there, right? So that's gonna help him a lot. He has 2 healers actually, if you didn't know. He has that 14-star EX ToP 18, and then that first form Cell Zenkai right there, the other EX unit, right? So those are both healers right there. As for me, you can see right here, you could literally go into B tier and pick up all of the 21s, and you're good. Bro, you're legitimately good, because you can see right here, this is the range of the blue 21. It all comes back to her, right? It stems from her. This is what I would do, honestly. When I used to run androids way back in the day before we're doing actually getting into the rhythm of things with the ToP videos. But she's healing transforming warriors by 2% at the start of the turn, and I'm pretty sure that's every single turn, right? And so obviously all the 21s are transforming warriors. You're going to be getting that buff for all 4 of them, right? You're going to be getting that heals for all 4 of them. And this revival cell, like if we look at the C tier units in here, like off rip, like I can tell you, obviously Super 17 is pretty good. He has like the 50% chance to follow up. He's able to build a super attack very quickly, as well as upgrade it on its own without a yellow tile. MVP 17 is pretty great as well, just because of the support and stuff like that. But I do have to say, my favorite unit in C tier for androids is this revival cell. This dude is just goated. Like he is so freaking good. Even on regeneration, it took forever for him to die, and we weren't giving him heals. He has buffs against Hybrid Saiyan, against Saiyan. He's able to heal himself on the 4th turn. He like once he transforms, he has like really good key restore speed. Look at that, 2,794. Are you kidding me? That's at friendship rank 2. So like you really can't go wrong. And look at how many Zenkais I have on this squad right here. So not only am I having the Android 21 shenanigans, I do have 2 healers on the side right here. This first form Cell is going to be giving full board buffs, heals at the start of the 3rd turn, and then this red 18 also gives heals every, I'm pretty sure every turn at the end of the turn. And then this Super 13 up here, he gets a guaranteed super attack, right, to top it off. So it's like, again, I like to start, when I build my teams, I like to start from C tier, get a couple of units, maybe get some B tier units, get some A tier units, and then if I do make it up to S and Z, like, it's just a bonus. Like right here, I don't have any S and Z, but like I said, those are just bonuses. Those are not requirements for you getting that 1000 CC. All right, so the next thing we are going to be talking about is Super Warriors. So just being straight up honest with you guys, I'm gonna probably recommend not running this team unless you're going for the high ranks, right? This guy's rank 2, so that's pretty damn high, right? This team is almost set in stone pretty much, with the units and stuff like that. A couple changes that I would make just off rip is I'm swapping out the green TN if I'm trying to make this more safe, right? Obviously, if I'm trying to go for just purely high rank points, then I'm not changing anything about it. But if I'm trying to make it more safe, I like this ToP TN a little bit more, just because he has a 2nd turn super attack / stun, which is pretty helpful, especially if you know that your super attack isn't gonna kill, right? And then I'm probably putting on the blue YAMCHAD right here. I didn't take a look completely at his kit. I just know he has healing in the 2nd ability. I know he's restoring ally health by 1%, activates twice. Not a huge heal, but still something nonetheless right there, right? But you do have this guy who's giving board-wide debuffs. This Piccolo is giving, he has a lot of healing range right there, right? He's getting all 4 corners plus his own slot. This blue TN has good damage overall, and then this guy has decent support as well. He's able to mitigate a blast arts and stuff like that, right? Again, don't use this team if you're looking for an easy run, for an easy season. All right, for the regeneration team that we are going to be using this season, this is what we have laid out. I'm going to start off in the C tier. So we are getting this Super Baby 2 pickup. Of course, this guy is the mainstay. I always do recommend, if you guys are looking for someone to start off with your friendship rank, do it on this guy. Do it on this guy, or do it on the Boo Tanks, one of those two, because they're always on my team. But other pickups here, like say you want to replace one of the green units, Parasite Trunks, amazing, phenomenally built unit right here. If you guys want to replace a red unit, amazing, phenomenal unit, perfect form. Cell Zenkai right there. Don't be afraid to run more than one C tier unit, right? That's what I always say right here. And then in B tier, we do have 2 pickups here, the Boo Tanks for the guaranteed super attack, and we are going to be Zenkaiing this guy. That way we can go ahead. I want to see how he is, right? I want to see how he is. I want to rate him and stuff like that. I'm probably not going to try to go after his revival, just because he loses the regeneration tag post revive, right? So we need to keep him on the regeneration squad, but we will be testing him out. Again, if you don't want to use that guy, there are a lot of replacements for him, so definitely don't be shy of that. In A tier, we are picking up this red Gohan right here. I'm a big fan of that guy. We already have him friendship rank 10. He's already good to go. And then I do want a yellow unit. You guys should all have this unit, hopefully. The free-to-play perfect form cell. This guy has pretty solid support right here, and he does have a good amount of debuffs. The only thing, the biggest con, is that he's not buffing regeneration, but it's okay. We can work around that. And then in S tier, we actually have 3 pickups right here. 3 pretty good pickups. So double purples, right, with this perfect cell. He does have full board debuffs. I like this guy because he has a bubble shield and stuff like that. He doesn't buff regeneration, unfortunately, but we do have him at friendship rank 10. Should be pretty solid. And then I think it's hard to not pick up this guy, right? Him being S tier, we have him at friendship rank 10. He has really good key restore speed. I think he's a guaranteed pickup for one of our greens. And then in Z tier, we pick up no one, right? I mean, if you want a Z tier yellow, you have this guy built up, bring him. But I'm noticing a lot of you guys don't have him compared to the guys that do have him. So we're going to exclude him from our roster for the season. Again, you could easily just go boop, bam, get that man out of here and use him. So let's go over the new units. So first off, we got this YAMCHAD right here, ToP stats. Let's take a look at these bad boys at max stats. Key restore speed 2,424. Could probably get up to a little bit past 2,500. Not the worst. Does have a blue and the ultimate. First ability, start of first turn, activate special action, the green card, right? 75% to damage inflicted, 15% to damage reduction, 10% to key recovery is pretty good. And then you also nullify abnormal conditions 3 times. You get straight up 15% to special move gauge. And at the start of the turn, if there's 4 enemies or more remaining, 20% to damage inflicted for 1 turn and 15% to key recovery for 1 turn. His next ability, before receiving a strike arts, health is 30% or lower. You do perform that strike arts cover change. At the end of the turn, if there are 5 or more allies remaining, which is hopefully that's every time, right? Especially if you're using this guy. 5% to own special move gauge, activates twice, and restores ally health by 1%, activates twice, and 10% to damage inflict. So good support. Honestly, not bad though. The biggest con about this guy is the fact that he doesn't have a ton of teams, right? He's buffing blue, purple, Saiyan Saga, and oh wow, he's not even buffing Super Warriors. That's crazy. Okay. Next, we do have this Goku right here. Honestly, I'm hoping for him to be pretty valuable, right? Because Saiyans is a very broad tag that could always, you know, Saiyans is a really good starter team for ToP players. 2,323 on the key restore speed's pretty rough. 2,400 or friendship rank 10 probably. Has the blue and the ultimate. First ability, 60% to damage inflicted, 30% to strike damage inflicted, and 20% to damage reduction. At the start of the turn, 10% to strike damage, 15% to special move damage inflicted, and 15% to ultimate damage inflicted. At the start of the turn, according to number of allies, if you have 6 allies, 5% to special move gauge, 5 allies, 10% to special move gauge, 4 allies or less, 20% to special move gauge. So this already, right off rip, this guy's going to be more of a threat on the enemy team than a threat on your own team. You know what I mean? Right? He's going to get the most out of his kit with dead allies. If he has 4 allies or less, he's getting that 20%. Before receiving a strike arts attack, he does have the cover change. It is health gated at 30%, unfortunately. And before receiving a special move, ultimate or awakened, you restore health by 2%. You cancel attribute downgrades at abnormal conditions, and this effect will activate even if an ally performs a cover change. This one's I mean, it would be better if this was a cover change mechanic right here. But I mean, if you're using this guy, there's no way to really dictate the enemy specifically super attacking your Goku, this yellow Goku, right? So it's kind of hit or miss for me. After receiving an attack, multi-target restores own health by 1%, inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 5% damage inflicted. So he has some debuffs right here, not bad. Is buffing a very broad range right here, Sun Family, Saiyan, or Saiyan Saga. So pretty good. I would say for the Z ability and stuff like that. Overall kit, I think he's going to be more so someone to look out for on the enemy team. And for the last unit we will be taking a look at is this Kid Gohan with the Piccolo Assist. So the maximum stats for him, his key restore speed's 2,400 or pre-revival, and then post, did it get worse? No, it's the same. Okay, so he does have the regular blue card right here. Again, if you're using regeneration, he loses the regeneration tag on revival. So you're probably not going to want him to revive, right? So start of the battle, 10% to key recovery, 20% to special move. Oh, start a battle, 20% to special move gauge is that's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Start of the first turn, activate special action, 70% to damage inflicted, minus 10% to damage received. When own health reaches 0, revive with 40% health, 50% to special move damage inflicted, 30% to special move gauge charge rate. And once revived, he will stay revived, right? So don't let him revive for the regeneration mains out there. He does have a strike arts, cover change, health gated by 30%, and he loses it after he revives, so that kind of sucks. On strike or blast arts hit, you restore your own health by 2%, that's huge, and you get 15% to damage inflicted by allied character Piccolo, which is also, so we can pocket our Piccolos, right? That's pretty good. At the start of the second turn, 15% to damage inflicted, cancels attribute downgrades, and abnormal conditions. You are buffing regeneration with this guy, and you're Zenkai buffing Green Sun Family. So, not bad. Definitely not bad. We'll see how he does in field. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns relating to ToP, or just anything you probably want to see in these videos specifically, let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys leave a like, a comment, maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!